All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And in this episode, I will let Patrick announce it. But before we get to that real quick, I do have an announcement. I did watch Beetlejuice yesterday.
I saw that you went
Thank
there.
you for not saying it the third time.
Yes.
How was it?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'll let you guys watch it, and then we can do a review of it later. But I will say, Michael Keaton brought back into his old role, just like he did with Batman in The Flash. So he is sharp there. Jenna Ortega did a phenomenal job. As she had a very similar Wednesday presence.
Yeah, I could see her being typecast into that kind of role.
Which she's good at. I mean, Wednesday is a
she's
great
amazing.
so she did very well. But I don't like said
Winona
not gonna get
Ryder
too
was
far
in this one too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say for her to portray Winona Ryder's character, who she would obviously have to be like a Wednesday-esque character to be her daughter.
And they all look very good. Because when you saw Winona Ryder in Stranger Things, they purposely made her look older or a little more beat down.
Yeah.
In this, she looks very good.
Okay.
And same thing with Catherine O'Hara. They look. I don't know if they had work done to them, if it was just the makeup, but
well,
whatever
she's
they
got
did,
that Schitt's Creek money now.
whatever they did, it's working because
It's
all
a
look
write-off.
great.
Who's writing it off? It's a write-off.
I will say, I remember watching Stranger Things, and I was like, wow, Winona Ryder looks like she just got off a 2-year coke habit. And then she was immediately in Destination Wedding with Keanu Reeves. And I was like, damn, I don't know if that makeup artist is really good or the Stranger Things makeup artist is really good, but someone needs a promotion.
Yeah. So yeah, they did bring back a lot of the older people. They did explain off why Jeffrey Jones is not in it. He played the father, Charles Dietz. Obviously, Otho is not in it.
He passed away.
Yeah. And he would have been an interesting character even to recast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't bring him back. But all the main original people were in it, and then a lot of new people. But overall, very good. Like I said, don't want to give too much away or talk too much about it, but I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say...
You loved it?
It's not something that I would run and pay the money at the theater again for.
Right.
Gotcha.
But I'm definitely glad I did go see it in the theater, and it did hold true to the nostalgia. And I'll let you guys be the deciding factor once you see it.
Okay.
What you think of it. But
Okay.
it's just a fun, cute movie. It's
Okay.
just fun. I mean, obviously a movie about dead people based from a Tim Burton, which Tim Burton's a great director, so don't get me wrong. It's not going to be your Oscar nominee type movie. It's not like Shawshank Redemption 2.
It's not like Deadpool and Wolverine where you were like, go, go, go now.
Yeah.
And you were like, go see it. If you don't, we'll do the episode later.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked it, but just had to bring that up real quick. So anyway.
So just real quick.
We had to do that for Deadpool Wolverine because the internet was already doing that for us.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. I already had one minor spoiler before I went to see it. I was like, all right, I'm not doing this shit again. It got spoiled to me. Spoilers real quick, that Jennifer Gardner was in the movie. That got spoiled to me the day before I went to go
Spoils
see it.
upon spoils upon spoils.
That's what happens when you break the 18th wall.
Yeah. But what were you going to say? I thought you were going to say something a second ago. Okay. But yeah, go check it out if you want. And then we'll do a review on it once you guys see it. So you will probably be tasked to see it sooner than later.
Okay. But it's
figure
not
it out.
a rush at the moment.
No, it's not like when you leave
for
here.
the record, we're recording on opening day football Sunday. We're not doing that today.
Yeah.
Go Finns. That's why I'm wearing this hat and not my normal one.
You have a normal hat?
Yeah, the green one with the little logo that even Google AI doesn't know what the
I know
fuck
that's
that
why.
thing is.
That's why I used normal with a question mark. Because no one else fucking has that hat.
Normal?
Normal?
Huh?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
God damn it! You can't put question marks. He will read everything.
So what's our topic for today, Patrick? This was your thought.
It was. I'm a little bit excited about this one because we've done the golden age of action movies, like episode 5, but we really haven't. We've talked about action movies and other topics, but this one, I was watching a movie the other day, and I was like, this is just like a really cool action scene. And I was like, oh, this movie also has a really great one. This one does too. All of Jackie Chan movies.
Yes, when you know he's doing his own stunts and that most likely he went to the hospital during filming, it gives you a little more of that extra oomph.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about just really good fight scenes in movies, like stuff that's really well choreographed or stuff that's just nonstop action. This is This is for all the dudes out there. A lot of Michael Bay fans will be tuning in.
This is
to
for
this.
all the dudes out there. For all you dudes out there, this
Who
one's
likes
for you, fellas.
Yeah, this is
Kung
this
Fu
is gonna
and
be
explosions.
I was gonna say this is one of those Instagram reels of he's probably out cheating. It's like no, he's sitting in a room reliving the greatest action movies
Yeah.
ever.
Don't get me wrong. There are women who probably love these great action, but 90% of them are going to be male.
I will say this, so real quick too, before we jump into it, I was just looking, since you said that was the 5th episode of the first year, this episode will be the 5th episode of the 4th year.
No. What?
Different time frames. The
Yeah.
5th episode was in August, mid-August last year, but just because of the different
Yeah,
episode
the way
timings.
calendars work.
7
and time.
degrees of Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon.
Yeah. So one day we're just going to do a full episode on that.
We're just gonna come dressed up as Kevin Bacon from our favorite movie.
I call Tremors. I want that 10-gallon hat.
Damn it.
I'll go Footloose, man.
Well, fine. I'll just go full green suit so I can be a Hollow Man.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just have to have a green
chroma-
screen behind
chroma
me.
key, which we do.
The chroma
I
key.
could bring my green screen
Ron,
over.
Ron!
We have one here.
Oh,
Ron,
yeah.
my pants! My pants! I don't have any left.
We're just going to key out Gavin.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot easier
Rick, you have
if we
pants.
just have an empty chair and we have you do VO afterwards.
Yes, just a voiceover.
Like you're actually recording from the kitchen.
Well, we don't have to chroma key. You can come in with bandages all over your face.
That's true.
That
Yeah.
would be
And
more of
just
the
for-
Chevy Chase version.
I like that version.
Oh, that one's much better. He's not a psychotic killer.
Or even better, the Steve Gutenberg version.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a movie from a long time before you were born.
Probably.
I believe it's like The Man Who Wasn't There or something like that.
The name sounds familiar.
And it's him, and he basically
Dad?
yeah. But it's a good. I like that movie though. Steve the Goots did that movie. Yeah, I think I'll have to remember the name of it, but it's like from late '70s or early '80s.
Oh, okay.
So
I
anyway,
know in the original book he was a psychotic killer. That's what the Kevin Bacon one was more
Yeah.
focused
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase was supposed to be more family friendly until he
Right.
took those hostages at the end of the
well,
movie.
his was an accident. It was
Yeah.
the company. He fell asleep in that little sauna thing.
Yeah.
When the
Yeah.
building or the reactor thing overloaded and took out half the building and made him invisible.
Yeah. But to kick it off, the movie I was watching that inspired this was the first Expendables. Just because that movie's awesome. Who doesn't like watching that movie? And I started rewatching the second one this morning. I refuse to watch the third one because it's no longer R, it's PG-13.
Okay.
I'm waiting for 4 to hit one of the streaming services because that one's back up to R.
Then it'll be NC-17.
But
Then it'll just be Expendable on Pornhub.
Well, no, that would be the Expandables.
Expandable.
That's the
yeah,
there
X-rated
you go.
version.
expandable.
but if you haven't seen it,
My favorite though was Saving Ryan's Privates.
Yeah. Buffy the Vampire Layer.
Yes.
you didn't like Lord of Bones?
Woo.
No, Game
Anyway.
of Bones.
Game of
They still kept Lord of the Rings though.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't really watched it,
Tolkien can't sue anyone.
It was just different rings.
and even though I haven't really watched Game of Thrones, that's basically porn.
it-
It's
Oh, yeah.
almost porn as it,
100%.
from
Yeah.
what I understand. I literally have not watched
All you had to
it.
do was listen to South Park's, revision of their theme
Oh,
song.
yeah, that's-
Floppy wiener, floppy wiener.
And no matter what your sexuality is, there is something in that show for you.
Yeah, yes, this is true.
They got
this
divorced.
is true.
They have men, women,
Yes.
small men,
Small
women.
women, small women.
Brother and sister.
Ew. Ew.
Kids in wheelchairs. Wait a minute.
Hot redheads who turn into hags.
Hey,
Yeah, that one freaked me out a little bit. I was not gonna lie.
hag. What? 3 down.
3 down. Yeah.
But back to our topic.
Sure, there you go. Go ahead.
So the Expendables. If you haven't seen the movie, it's basically every action star from the 80s and 90s. Stallone wrote, directed, and produced the first one, and God bless him. But him and his mercenary group, it's Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Terry Crews, and an MMA fighter I can never remember the name of, and Jason Statham. Because he's only in these movies. I haven't seen him in literally anything else. But he's
It's not Chuck Liddell. It's the guy. He was around like the same time as Chuck Liddell. Like,
Yeah.
They were like the two big names in MMA fighting.
yeah. My apologies.
I
I'm
want to
not.
say it
that,
starts with an R.
yeah, it could
If
be.
only we
You
had
got a
this
yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
box.
rectangle
I'll
to
take
help
care
you.
of it. You continue your
Thank
story.
you.
Yeah, talk about the Expandables.
But basically, they're hired by the CIA to go kill a military dictator on an island in the Gulf of Mexico that doesn't exist. but it's also like a CIA, I don't know, a rogue CIA agent is using it to make cocaine because he wants to get rich.
Randy Couture.
Randy Couture, yes, he is in The Expendables. He's not that bad of an actor. It's just he was immediately typecast for action movies. Like,
Well, they also make fun of his cauliflower ear.
yeah. There's like a whole 5-minute bit about his cauliflower.
Yeah,
ear.
exactly. It's,
I didn't need to know how cauliflower ears are made.
I have my scar. I have my wrestling scar.
But they get hired to go kill the dictator. Barney Ross, which is played by Stallone, and Christmas, who is Jason Statham, go down to this island. They scope it out, and they're like, "We're not accepting this job." But as they're escaping, the dictator's daughter is like handcuffed and about to be executed, and Barney Ross is like, "Absolutely not on my watch." So they blow up the pier. They go back and get the team. There's a fight between Jet Li and Dolph Lundgren, because Dolph Lundgren in this movie is absolutely insane.
Well, I also like the little commentary that he's asking Sylvester Stallone on why he should get paid more.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm smaller. When a bullet hits me, it makes a bigger hole. Like, so I should get paid more.
My legs are shorter. I had to run faster to
Yeah,
keep up
yeah.
with you guys.
And then they're like getting in that fight. I think it's against Dolph Lundgren. Like
Yeah.
when they're in the trucks, and he's like, crawl through the back window. He's like, why? Cause you're smaller.
And Dolph Lundgren is really insane.
Yeah.
Because he signs up with the bad guys and he's waiting to do this like basically drive-by hit. And the guy who works for the dictator is like, "Don't fuck this up." He's like, "Shut up, cockroach." He's like, "You're letting him get away." And he literally just like curb stomps him into the dashboard and kicks him out of the car. He's like, "Shut up, cockroach." Like everyone's an insect to Dolph Lundgren. And to be fair, yeah.
Most of us are.
Yeah.
I mean, he was He-Man,
Yeah.
was
even though in a very bad version
Oh, it
of
was
the movie.
an
but
awful movie, but I remember seeing it as a kid.
Is this like the first movie that him and Stallone have done together since Rocky IV?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They brought it back together.
But the ending fight scene when they go to kill the dictator.
Well, no, they did. This I think, yeah, because this was they did come back together in Creed
I've never
for
saw
like
that one.
cameo.
Oh, okay.
The second Creed, because he ends up fighting Ivan Drago's son.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But Expendables, the first
Expen-
one came.
the first one
Expendables. I'm stuck on the Expendable thing now. Wrong name. Expendables.
That's the cross between the Incredibles.
That came out before Creed, though.
Yeah,
if I remember
yeah,
yes.
correctly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so.
You're correct.
But the fight scene at the end of this movie is what made me think of this topic, because they're setting charges throughout the mansion trying to get their escape route planned, but the military finds them because this is a military dictatorship. So they're in these like underground tunnels, wine cellar kind of thing, and there's like a full battalion of people against the squad, and they're firing and they're all taking cover. Like, what are we gonna do? And Terry Crews, this 6'5" monster of a man, has an automatic drum-fed shotgun, and you could just hear doosh, 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 and you could see him just walking down the tunnel, just laying waste to about 50 people. I was like, that scene kicks ass so much, because just before that, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin kicking the ever-loving shit out of Sylvester Stallone.
Yep.
And when everything's said and done, everyone's like, "Barney, where the hell were you?" He's like, "I was getting my ass kicked. Come on, let's get the hell out of here." And then
Getting a little old for this stuff.
Yeah, right?
and then so after that, they start fighting the entire military at the president's house. And they start setting off explosion after explosion. Like, Michael Bay had to have been a consultant in this movie. But there is a scene where the CIA guy is trying to kidnap the president's daughter as like a hostage or something, and Stallone's trying to get to him to stop him, and just enemy after enemy, like duck hunt for him. But he's just sitting there with a 9mm pistol like this, just firing off 16 rounds in like 3 seconds, like faster than like a submachine gun. And then he's just dropping the mag, immediately just grabbing and slamming it in and continuing to fire. I don't know if he practiced for like 6 months to get that timing down, or if they just had nothing in the background move while they sped up the video of him just doing it. But it still looks really great, and he's just
Cinematography.
yeah. Editing's really fantastic nowadays.
It is.
You
It
can
is.
do a lot of stuff. But so those two scenes, I was like, this is why I love this movie. Those two action scenes at the end are just amazing. Plus, at the end of the movie, where Jason Statham as Christmas beats Mickey Rourke at the knife throwing contest, he starts Like they're doing, darts, but with like knives because Jason Statham in the movies, he likes throwing knives instead of using guns because, everyone needs a thing. But Mickey Rourke, he was like an old mentor to Stallone. So they're all having beers, drinking, playing darts with throwing knives. And then Christmas or Jason Statham, he's like, all right, I'm done with this. He starts reciting a poem, walks out into the alleyway. He's got to be 75 feet away from the dartboard and just nails it right between the eyes. I was like, God damn it, I love this movie.
He loves the movie.
He went off to be the beekeeper after that.
But he went to Expendables 2.
Yeah.
The beekeeper.
He made a stop at the mechanic.
Which The Beekeeper actually wasn't a bad movie.
Beekeeper wasn't. I like that one.
It wasn't being nominated for an Oscar or anything like that,
Yeah.
but it wasn't awful. I didn't hate it. I do like how he killed somebody with a phone. And I'm not talking like a cell phone, like one of those old desk phones. He just stands it up on his side, like John Wick 2, when he slams the giant dude's head onto or 3. When he kills that guy by putting the library book on the table and just like smashing his neck against it.
You didn't like when he killed the one guy, putting the straps to him?
Oh yeah, he tied him up with a chain and then put the truck in gear and just drove it off the bridge.
Yeah, that was hilarious. He's like, wait.
My favorite scene is the bad guy has this old CIA guy on the retainer for his security, and something happens and he figures out it's an actual beekeeper, so he calls his old CIA contact. He's like, my boss just pissed off a beekeeper, and yeah, that beekeeper. And she's basically like, has he wrote in his will? Well, can you do me a favor and stop him?
My favorite scene, and this still all play, even though we got off sidetrack, but this is still all playing in the action thing, is when that same guy is talking to the Spec Ops guys, and they're like, he's like, he's basically like us. He's like, no, he's not one of you. You are the most elite of your division. SEAL teams, SWAT, Spec Ops, all this other stuff. He says, compared to him, you're pussies. Damn. Just told a whole room full of JSOC guys that they're pussies. Yep. And he was right.
Yes.
Well, they send an active beekeeper after Jason Statham. Yeah. He kills her.
But he even said when he went, oh, not her.
Yeah.
She's a lunatic. He already knew.
Yeah. But he kills her, goes to her hideout, and then the CIA guy calls the other CIA lady again. She's like, can you send another one? She's like, don't call me again. I'm not wasting people on this.
Well, no, they said they were standing down. It's like, they can do that? It's like, yes, they can do that. They can do whatever the hell they want. Haven't you seen what's happening?
We train them to be perfect.
Exactly, yeah. You don't mess with the hide, stupid.
That's right.
I'm not going to go home. Well, we're watching football later, but if I remember, I'll watch The Beekeeper again later.
So probably some of mine, I would have to go with the John Wick movies.
Yeah, so that was a really close to John Wick 2 when he's in the museum. That was tied for the Expendables scene.
And see, I don't like that one as much as I do at the beginning of the scene when he's going through the tunnels.
Okay.
When he does the first assassination of the lady on the high table,
yeah.
and that he set that whole thing up perfectly because he knew he wasn't going to get a clean exit.
Yeah.
He knew. And so, like, as he starts going down there, he's got his AR. I'm assuming, or some version of that, where he's.
It was an AR.
Okay.
My favorite scene of that movie is when he goes to see the sommelier.
Yes, and he's going through all the different. So for dessert, we'll have our finest cutlery.
Dessert, all freshly stoned.
For our main course,
It's
the Vanelli M12 or 4, whatever the hell it was.
An Italian 12-gauge shotgun.
Exactly. Yes. So that's my thing. Is like he's got all these freaking.
Yeah, he's got the bandolier shell.
Yes.
And then he's got the 4 extra mags for his AR.
Double mags.
Yeah. So he just.
Once the side's gone, he flips it over to the other one, and then that side's gone.
And then he just drops both.
And then as he just starts throwing those shells into the Brunelli, oh my God, that was so smooth.
Yeah.
That was so quick because he's got it up here. I mean, it's like, I'm like, how much training did Keanu Reeves go through? And I know it was good. Well, because when he went to, in the third one, when he went to go get Halle Berry, he was teaching her going through the range with her.
She became like a professional dog trainer or tamer or something like that for that movie.
Yeah, she did. Mm-hmm.
I do remember when in the tunnel scene, like when he had the shotgun, he always kept one shell in his left hand. I
Yep.
was like, why did he not do that? And then at the end, he's looking for more shells. He's like, shit, this is my. And he just loads it in, kills the guy, and throws the gun away.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
But
that's
the
how
way
you know
he
you were out.
the way he loads it is it's already on the
The
cocking
slide,
barrel, and when he brings it back, throws it in, and then loads like it's ready now. You're done.
Yeah.
Like oh my! And I always there's like 2 or 3 scenes in there. In the very first one when he's in the club, and he throws the he's got the guy down. He's literally just standing over him. The guy's trying to fidget.
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
just,
out
like,
of and
throws
he's out of
away the-
rounds. He throws the mag, and I'm like, this guy is literally waiting to die, and you're just like, hang on. I was like, fuck, that's got to be so.
Uber just messaged me. They're here. Hey, hold on.
Yeah, right.
The first movie, I love it when the squad goes to his house. I think that's the best fight scene in that movie.
Yeah, I could agree. I still like in the second one when they finally do redo the pencil scene.
Yeah.
That's when he's coming back and he's got the price on his head from the guy who sent him over. In the
Yeah,
first
he killed
place.
somebody in like a train lounge, like
Yeah.
in a metro lounge with
Yeah,
a pencil.
It's two. Yeah, it was 2 people. One of them he stabs in the neck. The other one he leaves on the table and he just and the pencil's gone.
Yep.
Fucking pencil.
Pencil, man. You can do a lot with a pencil.
Yeah, apparently, if you're John Wick, you can do whatever the hell you want.
If you're the Joker, you can make it disappear.
That's true.
Yeah, but
yes.
he did it from the eye.
He did it. He did it first. The
Yeah.
Joker
Yeah,
did
that's
it
true.
first. I'm gonna make this disappear.
Ta-da!
Wow! Ta-da!
What about you, Mr. Tony?
Oh, let's see here. There's so many. I like to go old school. There's a couple. One of them's going to sound a little unorthodox, but the first one is a classic one, and it's not so much a like hand-to-hand fighting scene, but the motorcycle truck chase scene in Terminator 2.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Breaking through all the bridges,
Yeah.
going through just the way he's riding that motorcycle and like flipping
And-
around
and
the
the
shotgun,
yes.
and he's like
The
just
lever
blowing
action.
it out. That whole scene was just really well done. But
Yeah.
as far as like hand-to-hand brutality, this is the one that's going to throw you off a little bit. That I can't remember her name, but it's the girl actress in the scene from Kick-Ass, the first one.
The little girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a scene in
Chloe
there.
Moretz.
Is that her name? So it's when she first kind of comes into play. Really, he's going. I think he was like the kid that plays the kick-ass character. He's going in costume to like bust up this apartment of I can't remember what they are. If they're like drug dealers or arms dealers, whatever. And of course, he's just getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, there's one scene, and then she like shows up.
She's
then
like Batman. She's like throwing smoke bombs and shit.
Yeah.
But she's
yeah.
the scene in it. If you don't remember it, I'll play it for you
I'm not
offline.
not a very big fan of that movie.
But that scene, because it
She
just
just
starts. Yeah, it just.
She's got the double knife.
Yeah, she's got the butterfly knife, but she stops. And she's like, "All right, you cunts, let's
Yeah.
play." And then like, there's like guys. She's chopping guys' legs off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like slicing through their throats and everything. And if you're watching it, like you weren't expecting that to happen in that scene. Like you're watching, like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That just happened by a child.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was.
But that whole scene is great, and then the music in the background is like it's just got that la 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 la. It's like,
I was watching. I want to say maybe it was like a clip on Instagram or Reel or something like that, and they did an interview like with her years later, and they were talking about her first scene in Kick-Ass, and she was like, I think she was 11 when she did it,
yeah.
and she was like, yeah. It was like the worst thing ever. My mom was on set. She gave me permission, but I was saying lines that I would have gotten grounded for. Like, I could not talk like that at my house. This is not like, that's not who I was. It's like, I'm still not that person.
That's why it's called acting.
I know,
And
but
you're
it was
getting paid.
It was
and your
so
mom
funny.
knows. You're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
money.
I could just
She-
see her mom
they
like
had to
reading
bring-
lines with her, and she has, "Mom, I'm not saying that to you."
Yes, that's what she was saying. It was like my mom had to be on set and give me permission because I wasn't going to say it and then have her watch it and then whip my ass.
Maz, it's okay.
Yeah. Mom, can I say thunder cunt?
See you next Tuesday.
I
Remember what
remember
you did to Dad last time he said that to you? I just want to make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm getting $250,000.
Right, Mom? We're good.
I remember one time I said, "Oh, you're talking about the see you next Tuesday word," and they went, "See you next." Yes, that word.
Yes.
Like it took a second to
You
click.
are correct, sir.
You are correct.
But no, you got a bunch of other ones like, and even though it's not heavily action, but it's still known as one of the best, funniest scenes in cinematic history from a very classic movie, and it's that scene in I want to say it was either Raiders of the Lost Ark or Indiana Jones. I can't remember which one, but it's when that ninjas comes up to him and like in Egypt or wherever, and they're in a
that's
straight-
in the first one.
Raiders.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's like
Raiders of the
flinging
Lost-
around all this
and
stuff,
he
and he
just
just
pulls
pulls
out
out
the
the gun
gun.
and shoots him and just walks away. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, that was. He talked to George Lucas about that. Like he was like, "What if I just pulled my gun out and shot him?" And he's like, "That would be because they were supposed to actually have
Yeah.
like a scene where he like whips it and like they have a sword fight." He was like, "What if I just shoot him?"
And it's the most iconic scene in
It
that
is.
movie.
It is. It is awesome. He's like, because he's a big dude. Dude, like, "Way ah!" And he's out.
But some of the
And
best.
then no nonchalantly, he just fucker. He just like walks away.
That's all you do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah. He holsters it and just turns around like nothing happened.
If you think about it and you mirror, I'm not comparing the two by any means, but if you mirror them, the scene in the first Iron Man, after he first perfects the suit.
Oh,
and
the one where he
goes
does
back-
the tank explosion.
Yeah, and he
Where
just like,
Yeah.
and just walks away.
Yeah.
It's kind of very
That
similar
pose
to
was
like
on
that.
the poster for
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, not trying to, because obviously, with Marvel stuff, we all know we love it, but it's,
Well, they own the rights to Lucasfilm now.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to action, a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff's already preset.
Yeah.
I mean, not that all
Exactly.
the other movies aren't.
They are now, but that was the first one, so maybe that one was a little bit
Yeah.
improvised.
Yeah.
But if you mirror those two scenes, they're very similar
Oh,
to
I
each
bet.
other, because you got all the guys like shooting at him, and he's like, my turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then of course you can't forget. I mean, you've got, just the very first Die Hard, like almost every scene in that
Yeah.
movie. And once you get to the actual action in it,
Welcome to the
Yes.
party, pal.
Yeah, with the roof exploding and then the shootout in the server room with all the glass, and then Bruce Willis cuts his foot.
Come out to the coast, have a few laughs. Well, I would like to say that one of my all-time favorite series, even though Disney's doing their best to destroy it, Star Wars. The lightsaber fights throughout the ages have gotten so much better.
So
you mean you didn't like the original New Hope first battle with Obi-Wan
That one was kind of like stabby. Okay, it was more like a fencing match. Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll just put mine down, and you
Yeah.
can just come.
But my favorite
Okay.
as a kid growing up, because I saw the originals, and then I was still young when the prequels came out.
yeah, the first one, episode 1 came out in '99
My favorite scene was
with Darth Maul.
with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan going at it.
I don't get me wrong, I love that scene, especially when they're still fighting with him, but he's just standing there and you can just see the second lightsaber, and like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they do that scene that's like Joe Rogan and all them like at the MMA, and it's like every kid in 1998 when the second lightsaber goes, ah!
Yeah, he just fires out the second lightsaber.
What the hell? You can have two?
It was the greatest addition to Star Wars lore in human
Right,
history.
it was.
But I will say my favorite lightsaber fight is between in Revenge of the Sith between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I will watch that movie a million times just for that fight.
Talking
scene.
about the final scene, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
he
the one
gets
where they're on
cuts his leg,
Mustafar.
yeah.
That is a great one, but I still like the one between Palpatine and Yoda better.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
way better. I like that one. way
That's
better.
in my opinion.
I
No, they're both good. I'm saying
yeah,
I like
right.
that because that was the first time you got to see Yoda actually.
Well,
Well,
you
not
saw-
Palpatine.
You're
I'm
thinking
of
Count
the Count
Dooku.
Dooku. That was the one that I
well,
liked
that
better.
one, yeah, okay.
That was a surprise where he walks in.
Yeah, because he's still carrying the cane.
Yeah.
But he drops
And
the
all of a
can,
sudden
and
he drops it
and then
and-
he just puts his hand out and it flies.
Yeah,
right
And then
over.
he
It's
just
like,
starts flipping around like he did a bunch of cocaine.
Oh, you guys.
like,
I started watching a tennis match. Dude,
I was in high school when that movie came out, and a lot of people saw it opening weekend. Like, dude, you do not know what Yoda can do. I was like, he's like 900 years old. What the fuck is he gonna do?
Well, even
and then I saw the movie.
because you see him in the originals, and he never does anything but use the Force, and,
And
he just
die.
dies.
yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, for a movie that came out in 1988.
After 900 years, I mean,
That's true.
He's kind of tired. I think he's put his time in.
But I will say my favorite thing that Disney has put out has definitely been
Deadpool Wolverine.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, the show.
And Vader 2, the final showdown at the end of the show.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, the
was
final fight
freaking-
in
yes.
the show.
Yeah. So the
That
last,
was epic.
yeah.
that
I was worried because like the first 2 episodes they make Obi-Wan look like a little bitch. I'm like, this is not Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like,
But he was supposed to. I thought it was really good because he's supposed to be in hiding, so he was acting very coy and
And he
shy.
had given up his what do they call it? It's a thing that the Jedi do.
They
When
cut
they-
the
when they
connection to
don't-
the
They
Force.
cut, yeah.
Well, but it's called something. It's like a ceremonial thing they go through. It's basically like almost like the Kolinar or something in from
Right.
Star Trek. It's like a thing where they basically, if they fail, they go basically and just
They-
sever themselves
They
from
commit
every.
force seppuku.
Basically. Would be good if it was like John Belushi from Saturday Night Live, the samurai, where they just take the lightsaber. Hey! I'm not worthy. But no, that scene was that was probably, that's up there as one of the favorites in Obi-Wan at the end
Oh,
scene.
yeah.
But
Well-
because it also explains a lot too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Explains about like the scar and, all that other good stuff.
I do like I saw it on my second watch through of the show, but during that fight, you could see Obi-Wan's lightsaber do a little flicker of red, just a little bit because he's using his anger to like lift all the rocks and everything. And then when he's talking with Anakin or Darth Vader at this point, you can see a little flicker of blue come back to life. It's just for a moment. And he's like, "No, I still love the dark side.
Well,
Die."
if you watch it though closely, in the reflections in his helmet,
Yeah.
when it's half cracked off, it's partially blue and
And he
partially
loses
red.
the Sith eye.
Yeah.
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 So they do have they even said that because it's like it's partially blue, partially red reflections on his mask.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's because of his
His-
theoretical internal battle
Right,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But in that show, also when he was having that battle with the was it the Seventh Sister or something?
Yeah.
Also, and this was before the Obi-Wan fight where he just stops a freaking Star Cruiser.
Oh yeah. So when
In the
Vader,
sky, I'm like, yes, this is why everyone shits themselves when Vader walks into
Well, yeah,
a
and then
damn
he's
room.
like ripping stuff apart,
Yeah.
like ripping doors. I'm like, okay, they were really showing what he was actually capable
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
this
then
is
he
what
finally
George Lucas
has-
wanted to do in 1979.
Exactly. Yes, and he has that fight with her, and it's just like the nonchalant most.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He like dunked on her 5 times. Like he's just sitting there and just waits and moves to the side. She swipes and backs up. She swipes and like she's supposed to be this deadly assassin.
Yeah.
And then he just stops with the force and then basically just says and.
He's like, did you think I did not know who you were? Or
Right.
something like that.
And then disarms her and throws it back at her.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
He almost kills her, but like the force keeps her, like her anger keeps her alive. So
Yeah.
she goes to kill Ben
Yeah,
Kenobi.
she learned
Not
it. She
Ben,
learned it from
Uncle
Darth
Owen.
Maul.
Well, and also if you go back and watch, so like at the end of Revenge of the Sith, after he cuts his legs off, and he's sitting there yelling at him about how much he hates him, and as he walks away from him, and then in the end scene of Obi-Wan, after he's leaving him again, the way he's yelling his name at him, it's like very
Yeah.
similar to that.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Where
Yeah.
It's like Obi-Wan, like no, we're not doing this again, man.
Stop it.
You don't win and walk away.
Well, this was supposed to be like a 6-episode miniseries, never touch it again. But I hear they're already talking about doing it
And
again.
they should.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
should. That is one they need to redo again.
Yeah.
Or continue, I should say.
Because there's still a whole lot of things that happen between
3 and 4.
him actually going and finally picking up Luke. Like he didn't just stay on the planet the whole time.
Yeah.
There's other like lore in there. And
Well, and you got the what's her name in there?
Ahsoka.
The little girl.
Leia.
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 Yeah,
Leia in that. So she did. That little girl played a really good part.
She
in
did.
that
I thought
show.
she was awesome.
Yeah, she did.
I liked Kumail Nanjiani he was like the fake Jedi.
Yeah.
He could do it a little bit, but
Yeah.
he had like no formal training or anything.
One of the greatest cameos is the actor who played Jar Jar Binks is a Jedi in that
Yes.
show. That was
Yeah.
like his redemption, which I'm super glad he got.
When he
'Cause
comes
I remember.
back. What was I don't think it was in that one. It was in Mandalorian.
Oh,
because
okay.
he goes and he's basically the Jedi that rescues Grogu from the temple.
Gotcha. Okay, I know he was in one of those shows.
And I've seen some memes, and they're so freaking hilarious. There's one, they have a picture of Anakin before he turns and everything, and he says, Grogu, you've always been nice to me. Stay out of the Jedi Temple today.
Or before this becomes part 2 of
I
our
know.
Star Wars episode.
Yeah. Moving on.
But it's really hard because there are some really great action scenes.
There are.
The guy who played. Oh, damn it! I'm doing it again. All right, let's move it on.
I'm doing it again.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right, so switching to hand-to-hand combat, like really great choreography, I think of the Forbidden Kingdom with that fight between Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
Ooh.
That one,
Okay.
that one's really good. I do know, like, that was the fight that everybody in the early 2000s was just begging for on screen, but both Jet Li and Jackie Chan have both said, like, we had a lot of fun doing that fight, but this is not the definitive fight that everyone wants to. We're going to do a better one. I was like, that one kind of kicked ass. I don't know what else you guys are going to do. But unfortunately, as far as I know, they haven't been in a movie together since.
No.
I'd say if you're gonna do hand-to-hand movies, any movie that Bruce Lee did,
Bruce
Yeah.
Lee.
because
mean-
that was all real.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all those movies were really fighting in those movies. And he was
What's the one with Chuck Norris? Enter
every
the
movie,
Dragon.
every movie with Chuck Norris.
Well,
too.
yeah.
Every episode of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Enter the Dragon, the only movie Chuck Norris has ever lost a fight in.
Yeah.
What it was called Enter the Dragon?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's a movie they did after Bruce Lee died, and it was just like
Oh, and that was also Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that one.
Yep.
the Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, so he was
Okay.
like the final level.
Oh,
I think.
okay. I saw it once decades ago. But there is a movie that came out after Bruce Lee died, and it's blatant disrespect to him because the guy who stood in for Bruce Lee, instead of doing like side shots where you're like, it could be him, or like from the back, 90% of the movie he's wearing a motorcycle helmet, but when you see his face, it's basically like a paper cutout that they tape to his face. It is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
So like,
You don't look like Bruce Lee. You fight kind of like him, but you don't look like. So here's a mask. Here's a piece of
Not
paper.
even a good one.
so like
It's
in
like
Deadpool,
Deadpool.
1 where
Yeah.
he's got
Where he's got the Hugh
Jackman.
Yeah. I was gonna say it'd be like those old school Halloween masks that's plastic with the little rubber band that's attached
That
by
might
two,
have looked.
yeah,
That
right.
would probably look
by
better.
two staples. Now, does this count? What about the fighting scene in Kung Pao where he's fighting the cow?
Oh my god! Yes.
Because that is kind of hand-to-hand combat for entertainment.
Any reason to talk about Kung Pao Enter the Fist, I'll do it. That movie is so bonkers. I love it. There's a scene where he's running away from all like the guards and stuff, and he's like, gonna jump into a ravine. If you look at the ravine, the Titanic is at the bottom of it.
Yeah. Yes.
This movie is bonkers, and I thought it was the greatest idea ever. He took a Japanese or Chinese movie from like 1970 or 65 and just dubbed him into the movie, and then they just did voiceover work for everyone else.
And added a cow.
Yeah, and
And
added
added
again.
And a talking tongue. Or
Or something like that. Well, like they set up the sequel, and I was like, I cannot wait to see that movie because it's like the cow and like 4 other farm animals on like cresting a hill. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, all right.
Now, I will say this, even though it's not in a movie but in a series, given that I think personally the choreographed fighting scenes hand to hand in Cobra Kai are
Yeah.
actually very good.
I will say that school fight at the end of season 2 or 3.
2.
Yeah, the one where the
where he
kid,
gets kicked over.
yeah,
the
he
thing,
breaks
yeah.
his back for like half a season. That fight scene was
That was
gnarly. I loved it.
that one and the one they did at the water park. I really like that one too.
The water park, but then I also like the one. It's actually really good. It's now because the other scenes with the kids, there's so many of them, so there's so much shit going on. But the end scene, I want to say it's at the end of the 3rd. So what are they on 5th season now?
6 part 1.
Okay, maybe it was the end of the 5th.
Or 5th
no,
part
it's
one.
end of the. Is it 5th or 6th? Whatever season it is.
I'm pulling up Netflix.
The previous season to that one, it's the end or close to the end scene where they get it's Johnny, Chosen, and the other guy Mike Barnes, and they end up trying to break
breaking
into
into the
Silver's
house. Yeah.
And the 3 of them basically. I mean, you don't really see.
So
Barnes
they're
that
on
much.
6 part 1 right now.
Season 6, part 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so the end of season 5. It was
Okay.
one of the last episodes of season 5. But
Part
when they
2
break
comes out in
into
like
the
a month,
house,
so be prepared.
What was
But
that
it's-
dude's name? The guy with the ponytail.
Terry Silver.
Taylor Silver. Yeah, yeah.
So they break into his, or they're trying to get into his house, but then it's the scene though, really, where Johnny's fighting because he's Chosen's outside fighting Terry. That's where he stabs him.
Yeah.
But that scene when they beat down Johnny, and he's like about to be done, they're about to kill him, and then he's looking at that picture of the sonogram of his daughter, and he just gets so enraged. And it's basically like American fighting. It's
Yeah,
a combination. Like,
it is.
He just grabs that dude and throws him into the TV, like into the. Or actually, no, the one dude goes to punch him, he blocks him, grabs him, flips him around into the wall, into the TV. But it's just like that raw
Dad strength.
rage. Yeah. But he's also doing karate as well.
Yeah.
But that scene, I actually really liked it. I'm just saying that compared to like the old movies, they're classics. They're great for what they are, but the show they've actually really done well.
They
in
have,
actual
yes.
hand to hand, or not just hand to hand, but
Yeah, martial arts. I will say in that sort of same vein where martial arts is just fighting like a guy who just fights like an American. The first movie I ever remember seeing Jet Li in was Lethal Weapon 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jet Li kicks the crap out of Mel Gibson and Danny Glover underneath that pier.
yeah.
And like he's just beating the shit out of them. And like with Mel Gibson, he's like, fine, screw this. He just picks up this like 5'2" tiny Asian guy, just starts slamming him into posts. He's kick me now, bitch. I was like, yeah, he can't defend against you. Just pick him up and start throwing him into stuff.
Right.
Yeah, martial arts is good if you can attack
Yeah.
and defend against attacks, but once they have you, they have it'd be like a 500
Once
pound
it
guy.
turns
just-
into wrestling, you got to go
Yeah.
to like Taekwondo or
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
jiu-jitsu.
you're Jet Li's size, and then you had like
And
a guy the size of
Danny Glover.
like Danny Glover, or even
He's
bigger
like
than that.
he's like
Or-
6'2".
I'm just on like a really big
Like
dude,
yeah,
Big Show.
well, yeah,
and they
yeah.
just laid on you.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
sumo wrestler.
And I'm sure martial arts, they'll teach you, like, if your person is wildly stronger than you, here are some tactics that can help. But they'll only get you so far. If the Big Show, he's fighting the Big Show and he caught Jet Li's hand, you just pick him up. Like, what do you
Yeah.
do something? Douche.
Yeah. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm just
like,
That's what happens.
sometimes strength will beat tactics.
yeah.
Not
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes
Numbers
They
are not everything in battle. I'm pretty sure they fucking help.
don't. Yeah. I mean, look at the Hulk and Loki at the end of the first Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
I am a god.
You will bow,
God.
but douche.
And then in Ragnarok, that's what it feels like.
He called it back. He called it back.
All right.
His friend from work.
I don't want to delve too much into this, but what's the favorite fight scene of the MCU? And we can't include Deadpool Wolverine because that movie we talked about a few weeks ago, and we love every fight scene in that movie. Or Deadpool 1 and 2. Let's go ahead because let's just go ahead and say no Deadpool.
Okay, no Deadpool.
Okay.
Just MCU in general.
MCU, and I will allow like the X-Men and all the stuff that was bought over from Fox because they are now part.
So
of
basically, just Marvel. You're not
Yeah.
talking about MCU now. Just any
well, they
Marvel.
are still. They are now MCU canon.
Not Sony,
That's true.
but Fox.
yeah, the
everything
Fox
that's
stuff.
Fox is yes.
I will have to say, for me, Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
With all the magic, from Doctor Strange, and you're actually getting to see him master level at this one, whereas opposed to the first one, he was still learning and trying to get his whip to work, and he finally got some stuff at the end, but this one he's using all kinds of tricks, and even in the fight that he had with Thanos, but. I think Multiverse of Madness, and when they're fighting using music,
Yeah,
that was awesome.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're fighting with sheet music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty dope.
The notes are coming at you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ever watched the show Doom Patrol, there is a character in there. She's called like Silver Tongue or something like that. She'll say a word and it'll be like a speech bubble, and then it'll fly at the person like a knife and kill them.
Oh. All right.
What about you, Mr. Tony?
It's that one's a hard one to say because there's.
I've already got mine.
There's so many out there.
Oh, don't get
But I'd say one of my favorites, and it's mainly because it's more humorous. Or one part of it's humorous, and that is the Captain America versus Captain America
Oh,
in Endgame when he goes back when
Yeah.
they're back in time, and then he's sitting there and they're battling back and forth. He's like, I can do this all, and he's like, yeah, I know.
well, I like when Future Cap wins. He's like, that is America's ass.
Yep.
How about you, Patrick?
Oh, it's the fight between Thanos and Captain America in Endgame. So when
Okay.
Thor's getting his ass kicked, and then you just see the hammer lift up a little bit, and you think you can almost see Thor's like hand off to the side. It's like, oh, he's gonna call the hammer, he's gonna get and then it's Captain America, and he's like, I knew it, and then they just start beating the shit out of each other for 2 minutes, and then the greatest scene in movie history happens.
Yep.
So Thanos has his twin vibranium swords. He rips his shield apart, and you think like, oh wow, he's gonna kill him. And he just straps up. He's like, oh! And then it's like on your left. Like, to this day, I still get chills when I see that.
And
scene.
he finally says the one word that
Yeah.
everyone's been waiting.
Yeah,
Avengers
assemble.
Assemble.
Yeah,
Not flame on.
Now, yeah. he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Oh, that's a superhero landing. All right, so this is my close second coming in, and it's really just because of how badass it is. It's when Wanda, also in Multiverse of Madness,
when she attacks the temple.
walks through the entire Illuminati,
Oh
just
yeah.
like they weren't shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instantly. Well, there goes John Krasinski. He's string cheese now.
Yeah.
What was
Patrick Stewart was Professor X.
Well,
Yeah.
no. What was John Krasinski's character?
Oh, he was Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr.
Reed
Fantastic.
Richards. Okay,
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic.
I couldn't remember his
'Cause he's-
his name.
Yeah,
But
he's
then
like
she-
one of the smartest people in Marvel Universe.
Exactly. And so she kills Black Bolt by just making him not have a mouth, and then he explodes his own brain.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty messed up. Well, the most messed up kill was when she went after Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he went after her
Yeah, and lost.
and lost.
You didn't think
very quickly.
You think if there was going to be a battle of the minds, Professor X would win? No.
Nope.
Not
No.
in this particular case.
No.
Because she's not just of the mind.
Yeah.
She has all sorts of other
everything,
things
yeah.
going on. So
A close second for me would be Thor Ragnarok in the opening scene, where Thor is just like spinning on the chain and he's talking with like the dude. He's like, wait, hold on.
Oh no. How'd Thor get into this?
He keeps turning. He's like, hold on, I'll turn back
I
around.
swear I'm not doing this.
But then he easily busts out, and then he just takes on the entire army. He steals that guy's head, and he's like, "Yep, that opening fight scene was awesome."
That thing on your head, it's a crown. It's a crown. I just thought it was a big eyebrow.
I do like at the end though when they like the only way to win is to set that guy loose, and then like he's defeating Asgard, and then like Hera, yeah. So Hera's like, "No, all of my power," and the next thing you know, Hulk, whoosh, just like
Yeah,
fly.
he just launches at him.
And they're like, Hulk, no! And then he gets slammed back down to the ground.
But one time, don't smash.
yeah.
Big monster.
You're just seeing him fly off in the distance.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
the funniest thing. Taika Waititi did the greatest job of that movie in
Yeah.
his career.
Yes, we were here to make Ragnarok.
No, Hulk, no!
No, stop it.
Well, I would say there's two other seconds for me, and the one is it's from Iron Man 2. It's the Rhodey versus Tony one when he's
Yeah.
all drunk at the
Oh,
party.
yeah.
And he's
Oh, yeah.
going
They just
nuts,
start-
and he's like,
they just-
shut it down. And then those two get
Start
into it.
beating each other
Yep.
with weights.
And then they both do that fucking the hand beam thing, and it knocks them both on their asses. That, and then also it was Age of Ultron. It's when Tony Stark has to put it on the Hulkbuster one.
Oh,
and he's
Oh,
fighting
yes.
Hulk when he,
That's a
when he
good one,
goes out
too.
of
yeah,
his
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep,
Yeah.
go to sleep, go to sleep.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hits him with the elevator going down.
I like how he's flying. He's like, how quickly can we buy a building? Yeah, the
have that kind of
Hulkbuster
money.
fight's really good. I
Yeah,
do
that's
like
a
that
good
one.
one.
But there's so many out there.
Oh, there are.
In
Oh,
the
I
magical world of the MCU.
If we
of
could
the
do a whole
Marvel.
episode of just going through every movie.
MCU fight.
Yeah.
MCU fight night.
You know what?
That's what-
I'm not against it.
I'm not against it either.
I would have to go home and rewatch a lot of them.
Let's go live to the phones now. Oh,
Let's get ready to Marvel.
in this corner here, weighing a
is-
combined weight of 321 tons, the Hulkbuster.
So now we're getting sued by Disney and the most famous, iconic ring announcer of all time. Who was the only movie he was in was Don't Mess with the Zohan. He was the bad guy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
That's the only time I can. Well, outside of his showing up for a ring announcer gig.
Yeah, I
in movies
think he
too.
did
Yeah.
like a few like actual. He did his ring announcer
Yeah.
voice, but he was the actual bad guy in Don't Mess with the Zohan. Which don't we? A lot of people didn't like that movie. I liked it. I didn't think it was awful. I thought it was funny. You two clearly don't think the same.
It's not on our best fights.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say it was. I'm just saying I like the movie.
His defeat, smell it, now take it.
So I'm trying to think of what else you can compare. So not just hand to hand. You've done basically like gunfire.
Yeah.
I think lightsabers cover swords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say for the most
So
part.
it's a very action heavy scene, but there's a few explosions, but not really any fighting. But the plane scene in the A-Team with Liam Neeson, it's my favorite scene of that entire movie. If you haven't seen it, they break Murdoch out of an insane asylum in a Germany U.S. Air Force base, and they're all escaping. So they get into the C-130, and they just start flying. And the people hunting him go to ATC, air traffic control, to like get that plane on the ground. But they've already launched 2 UAVs to take down the plane. And Murdoch, who's the pilot of the team, he's like, "Don't worry, boys. Turbulence has never brought down a plane." And then like a little alarm goes off. They're like, "What's that?" That is 2 subsonic
2
UAVs.
Reaper drones.
Yeah, with missile lock, and they bring down planes all the time. And then
they wake up in the tank.
yeah. So they
The
launch
VA wake up.
starburst and they do like loop-de-loops. They finally bring down the plane, and the UAV drone pilots are like, "Sir, we got shoot deployment on the Buford." It's like, what? And then Bradley Cooper, he's in like, "Hey boss, if we're under 20,000 feet, we can still breathe, right?" He's like, loading up the old weapon system. And then Bradley Cooper just gets on the machine gun. He's like, "Come get some." And then he blows it up.
Well, yeah, because BA's passed out the whole time, and he's like, what are we doing in here? It's like, well, it's all right. We're in a tank. What are we doing in a tank?
The plane exploded.
What?
When?
Recently?
But the greatest part is Bradley Cooper shoots down one of the drones, and the shards take out 2 of the 3 parachutes. So they're basically nosediving.
Yeah.
And they're like, Liam Neeson can see through like the targeting scope, and he's like, "There's a lake about a half mile to the east. Turn the turret." And like, "Boss, what am I aiming at? Just trust me. Fire!" And then you can watch the drone footage at ATC. They're just, they're like, "Are they trying to shoot down that other drone?" And Jessica Biel's like, "No, they're trying to fly that tank." It is the greatest scene ever.
So it's kind of it's a real life situation, but real quick
I've
story.
never tried to shoot down or fly a tank.
No, not me.
Oh.
No, but my grandfather did tell me a story when he was in the Navy. He was on one of the battleships, and one of the guys, this is obviously a long, long time ago, when he was a very young man, and there was a guy that he was partnered up with. He was running the gun turret, but he was a very simple guy. Not my grandfather, this other guy, and from country like. And he's up there and he sees something. He's like, "Should I shoot him, Pa?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "Da, da, 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 da." And he's like, "No!" So apparently that really happened.
I was kidding.
I do also want to apologize to headphones users in case our little peaking technology didn't work on the no that Tony just yelled into his microphone.
Hey,
You gotta have
was-
it. You gotta have it for effect.
We
man.
do have a limiter, so hopefully it doesn't destroy your eardrums.
Oh, you'll be fine.
What?
Exactly.
What?
A?
Only one of my ears is working right now.
Are you happy now, Clark? She's deaf.
She's dead.
Um,
You got a few minutes left.
It's okay, Clark. Her eyelids are just froze shut.
Yeah. She'll see it later.
we do have enough time for 1 or 2 more, and I did want to bring up Pacific Rim. The fight scenes between the Jaegers
You and
the
your
Kaiju.
kaiju.
They're awesome movies. You telling me you didn't like Godzilla -1?
I haven't seen it yet.
Get the fuck out. You're not watching football today. You're going home and watching.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
With the 70,000 other ones we've had to sit through you?
I have no argument against that.
We might be back to even with this one.
Should I shoot him, Pa?
You Yes.
I'm the one who's seen the movie this time. Why am I getting shot?
I've seen Pacific Rim.
I haven't seen Godzilla minus one.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't
It's
really
one of the
watch
best
all of
Godzilla movies I've ever seen. But Pacific Rim, the Jaegers fighting the kaiju
Yeah.
monsters. Some of those Guillermo del Toro did like an amazing job with those scenes.
Yeah.
I'm-
And I like the artwork that he did on the creatures, like in the style that they came out with, and
Yeah.
like how their fighting style kind of matched what they looked like.
Charlie Hunnam did a really good job in that movie too. I've seen him in Sons of Anarchy, and I knew he was a good actor. But like, damn, all right, he actually knows what he's doing.
I don't know. I just like Charlie Day being Charlie Day in there.
Yeah. I did not like his character in the second one. Like, I understand what they did.
Yeah, no,
but
I agree. I agree. I didn't really like the second one to begin with.
not really. I did like John Boyega in that movie.
Yes, he was good.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one more and this is again on the mechanical side, but one of my favorite movies of all time, Top Gun.
I was
And
gonna
that
say, are we gonna do
dogfighting.
fighter
Yes.
fighter jets?
Yeah.
That dog fighting at the end where they're going up against the MiGs and Hollywood gets taken down first and it's just Iceman and you just see them whipping around because he's got 4 other MiGs on him and they finally launch Maverick.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
Because he was in trouble and he was on standby or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, he was first respond and standby.
Yeah.
or even the end scene in Top Gun Maverick
Yes,
after they crash land.
when he's fighting the 2
Yep.
next gen fighters.
Yep.
And you just see that one like basically do a mid-air Yui, and
Yep.
they're like, "What the fuck?"
Well, when he's also training them, when he's testing them.
Oh, yeah.
he's challenging them.
Yeah, he's like doing
where
the
is he? And he's
push-ups.
like upside down.
He's like,
he's like,
"Hi."
"You guys ready to start that? I've been here the whole time."
Yeah, he's like eating.
the whole time, man.
I know we don't have
You're
a lot
dead.
of time, so I want to give a quick shout out to Hot Shots Part 2.
Duh.
Do.
They did have a lightsaber battle in that with.
Oh, yeah.
It was. So, I can't remember who was playing Saddam Hussein, but oh man, what's the guy from the police academies? Oh no, that wasn't him.
Ryan Stiles was in the movie. I remember that.
It wasn't him. It was
You're
another-
thinking of Spaceballs.
No.
No,
they
they
had
do-
a lightsaber
Yeah.
battle at the very
It was
end.
right.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was just when you said the guy from Police Academy, I thought you meant Jonesy. who was
No.
Oh, he was like jamming the radar.
the blips, the
Yep.
beeps, and the sweeps or whatever.
Yep.
I can't remember the old guy, but it was I can't remember his name, but the character was kind of based off of George Bush.
Okay.
Like the president. He was our president in the
Yeah.
movie, and he was. You know what? I like Topper Harley. He's really cool. Sex, sir? No, not right now. but
Oh,
maybe
you're
later.
talking about the commissioner for Police Academy. He's
was-
the guy. He's the guy who gets the blowjob underneath the podium because Steve
No,
Gutenberg.
he's the commandant.
Commandant.
Commandant Lassard.
Yeah.
Lassard.
Lassard.
Many, many wonderful things.
Yeah.
Well, then I will say one last one before we go, and that will be the shout out to in Spaceballs where they're fighting on the ship and one of them shoots her fucking hair.
Oh,
And she's
yeah.
like,
Oh my
They
god!
shot my hair,
Yeah.
and she just
It just
red hot and knocks out all the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. She.
they shot my hair.
And they end up having to like pull her onto the
Yeah.
ship.
But that is, we are about out of time. We only
Yeah.
got about a minute left. But thank you guys so much for joining us and talking.
Let us know your favorite action scenes.
Yes, we probably have missed a lot of them because there are a lot out there. We didn't really touch on too much of like Bad Boys or Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
I was trying to stay away from movies that we talk about a lot
Yeah,
on the show.
yeah, no, that's fair.
And-
So we did, but
But I mean, it's not like we can't talk about John Wick when we're talking about action
Yeah.
scenes
Yeah.
yes,
or the MCU because everything nowadays is
It's
owned by
action.
Disney.
yeah, it's next.
Yeah. We're all owned by Disney. apparently.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us talking action scenes in movies. That is what you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
Yep, action scenes. We will be back as usual every week. Continue to check us out. We'll give you updates as to our other future projects that are coming up. Still in the works. Still a lot of little details to be worked out, but we'll keep you updated on that. Continue to check it out on Elevation Films on the Roku channel, YouTube, and in all our listening platforms. But
Which
yeah,
is all of them, I think.
basically,
much.
we've conquered the world.
If you can hear it, we're on it.
Yes.
Pretty much.
If you podcast it, they will listen.
They will listen.
So
Now I
yeah,
gotta go watch Wayne Worlds 2. God damn it. I love and hate doing this show.
I'm sure there's a good fight sequence in there somewhere. But until next week for Movie Talks and Chill, we're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Kevin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
All right, guys, take care.